Hello viewers, welcome to the Big Man Business YouTube channel. Here is another highly informative video. In this video, we're going to be talking about Pakistan's top import and exports. Keep watching, we got it all covered. The Islamic Republic of Pakistan, which shares land borders with economic powerhouses China and India, shipped an estimated $22.2 billion in goods around the world in 2020. This figure represents an 8.3% increase since 2016, but a minus 6.6% decrease from 2019 to 2020. If you're new to the Big Man Business YouTube channel, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell to receive updates on new business expert videos. For more international business news and updates, please visit www.bigmanbusiness.com. Pakistan's top trading partners. Pakistan shares land borders with China in the northeast, India in the east, Iran in the southwest, and Afghanistan in the west, in addition to its southern coastline along the Arabian Sea and Gulf of Oman. In 2020, Pakistan shipped $22.2 billion in goods around the world. This dollar amount represents only 0.13% of total global exports, which are estimated to be $17.271 trillion. Using a continental lens and the most recent available data, 37.1% of Pakistan's exports were delivered to European importers. Another 34% arrived in Asia, with the remaining 20.2% going to buyers in North America. Africa with 6.3%, Latin America with 1.2% excluding Mexico but including the Caribbean, and Oceania with 1.1%, led by Australia, received lower percentages. Here is a list of 15 of Pakistan's top trading partners, countries that imported the most Pakistani shipments in terms of dollar value in 2020. Each import country's share of total Pakistani exports is also shown. The United States, $4.1 billion accounts for 18.6% of total Pakistani exports. $1.9 billion in China accounts for 8.4%. £1.7 billion for the United Kingdom accounting for 7.8%. Germany with $1.4 billion accounts for 6.3%. $1.1 billion from the United Arab Emirates accounts for 4.9%. The Netherlands with $1.1 billion accounts for 4.9%. Afghanistan with $870.9 million accounts for 3.9%. Spain with $794.3 million accounts for 3.6%. Italy with $718.6 million accounts for 3.2%. $583.4 million for Bangladesh accounts for 2.6%. Belgium, $571.1 million accounts for 2.6% also. Saudi Arabia with $432.3 million accounts for 1.9%. $396.9 million from France accounts for 1.8%. $357.4 million for Turkey accounts for 1.6%. $284.8 million by Canada represents 1.3%. In 2020, the previously mentioned 15 trade partners will account for nearly 3/4 or 73.4% of Pakistani exports. Turkey increased its import purchases from Pakistan at the fastest rate among the top trading partners, with a 20.5% increase from 2019 to 2020. Saudi Arabia came in second, up by 6.4%, followed by Germany, which was up by 3.7%, and then the Netherlands up by 3.4%. Bangladesh came down with minus 26.4% year-on-year, Afghanistan down by minus 26.4%, Spain down by minus 16.3%, Italy down by minus 11.3%, and France were the top decliners, down by minus 11.3%. Pakistan's top 10 imports. Pakistan imported an estimated $45.8 billion in goods from around the world in 2020, a minus 2.6% decrease from 2016 and a minus 8.7% decrease from 2019 to 2020. With a population of 208.6 million people, Pakistan's total $45.8 billion in 2020 imports equates to an estimated $220 in yearly product demand from each individual in the South Asian country. From a continental perspective, Asian suppliers account for nearly three-quarters of total Pakistani imports, which is 70.7%, Europe with 13.1%, North America with 7%, Africa with 5.8%, Latin America with 2.5% excluding Mexico but including the Caribbean, and Oceania with 0.8% are the regions with the smallest percentages. In terms of dollar value, the following product groups will account for the majority of Pakistan's import purchases in 2020. The percentage share of each product category in terms of total imports into Pakistan is also shown. Mineral fuels, including oil, are worth $10.3 billion, which accounts for 22.5% of total imports. $4.6 billion in electrical machinery and equipment accounts for 9.9%. $4.1 billion in machinery, including computers, accounts for 8.9%. $3.2 billion in iron and steel account for 6.9%. $2.25 billion in animal or vegetable fats, oils, and waxes accounts for 4.9%. $2.17 billion in plastics and plastic articles accounts for 4.7%. $2.13 billion in organic chemicals accounts for 4.7%. $1.44 billion in vehicles account for 3.1%. $1.39 billion in cotton accounts for 3%. $1.28 billion in oilseeds accounts for 2.8%. Pakistan's top 10 imports account for 71.5% of the total value of its foreign product purchases. Among the top 10 import categories, imported cotton saw the most rapid increase in total cost, rising 67.1% from 2019 to 2020. Animal or vegetable fats, oils, and waxes came in second with a 16.1% increase in Pakistan's expanding import purchases. Mineral fuels, such as oil, down by -28.4%, and machinery, such as computers, were the biggest losers year-over-year, down by -13.9%. Pakistan's top 10 exports. The Islamic Republic of Pakistan, which shares land borders with economic giants China and India, shipped an estimated $22.2 billion worth of goods around the world in 2020. This figure represents an increase of 8.3% since 2016, but a decrease of -6.6% from 2019 to 2020. According to the most recent available country-specific data, importers in the United States had 18.6% of the global total, China with 8.4%, the United Kingdom with 7.8%, Germany with 6.3%, the United Arab Emirates with 4.9%, the Netherlands also with 4.9%, Afghanistan with 3.9%, Spain with 3.6%, Italy with 3.2%, Bangladesh with 2.6%, Belgium also with 2.6%, and Saudi Arabia also with 2.6%. Altogether, these countries purchased 68.8% of Pakistan's exports. From a continental standpoint, 37.1% of Pakistan's exports were delivered to European countries, while 34% were sold to Asian importers. Another 20.2% of Pakistan's exports went to North America. Africa with 6.3%, Oceania with 1.24%, and Latin America excluding Mexico but including the Caribbean received smaller percentages of 1.18%. With a population of 208.6 million people, Pakistan's total exports of $22.2 billion in 2020 equate to an estimated $100 for each resident of the densely populated South Asian country. These export product groups are the most valuable in terms of dollars in Pakistani global shipments in 2020. The percentage share of each export category in terms of total exports from Pakistan is also shown. $4.3 billion in miscellaneous textiles and worn clothing account for 19.2% of total exports. Knitted and crocheted clothing and accessories are worth $3.1 billion, which accounts for 13.8%. Cotton is worth $2.6 billion, which accounts for 11.9%. $2.6 billion in clothing and accessories account for 11.8%. Cereals are worth $2.1 billion, accounting for 9.5%. $583.4 million in leather or animal gut articles accounts for 2.6%. $435.3 million in copper accounts for 2%. $423 million in salt, sulfur, stone, and cement accounts for 1.9%. $418.6 million in fruits and nuts account for 1.9%. $380.5 million in optical, technical, and medical apparatus account for 1.7%. The top 10 exports from Pakistan accounted for 76.3% of the total value of its global shipments. Copper was the fastest growing export category among the top 10, increasing by 22.7% from 2019 to 2020. Miscellaneous textiles and worn clothing, as well as fruits and nuts, saw a 5% increase in export sales. Cotton was the worst performer among Pakistan's top 10 export categories, with a year-on-year drop of -18.7%. Thanks for watching this video. We are open to suggestions. Kindly drop your comments in the comment box and don't forget to subscribe to the Big Man Business YouTube channel. See you in the next video.